Hello and welcome to the Dikembe Mutombo episode of the Hoop Theory Podcast, aka episode 55. My name is Logan Wertman, and as usual, I am joined by my magnificent co-host, Jacob Roth. Jacob, how does it feel to be on the Dikembe Mutombo episode?
Feels pretty good. Also, it could be like the Terrell Suggs episode in the NFL half of the world, but Mutombo, that one's I feel like was probably pretty easy. I don't know if I can think of another 55 that like really stands out.
There's White Chocolate. Brandon Jennings was honestly one of the first guys to come to mind. I didn't even look up a list. I just, as soon as I thought of Mutombo.
Whatever your heart felt. Yeah.
I was
Mutombo's a name that's big enough that it doesn't necessarily need alternative like thoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you thought of a guy that's like just kind of a guy. He was like a pretty big part of an era of basketball. So
yeah,
probably pretty safe.
Mount Mutombo. One of the all-time rim protectors. But yeah, so moving on. I don't know if he played for any of these teams. I tried to make a connection. I don't think he did. He didn't play for any of the teams in the Pacific Division, but that is the team we'll be covering here today, going through our over-under picks for each team, just like we've been doing the last few episodes. We did the Atlantic, then the Central, then Northwest, and now we're on to Pacific. So we have the Golden State Warriors, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Phoenix Suns, and the Sacramento Kings. And so if you guys haven't listened to the previous episodes, this is how the game works. We are going through each team and giving our over-under picks from their regular season win total from FanDuel. So each pick is going to be worth 1 point. If we get it right, we get a point. Get it wrong, lose a point. But then per division, we're going to get one lock, which will turn that selection into being worth 3 points. So we get 3 if we get it right, lose 3 if we get it wrong. And then we also have one stay away per division, which is just like eliminating it so it won't affect you either way. And so, yeah, those are the basic rules. And without further ado, let's get into the Pacific Division, starting off with the Golden State Warriors. I'm going to take a look at how well each team did last season and compare that to my preseason predictions from last year as well. As we get into these. So Golden State Warriors, they won 44 games last year. So the record was 44-38, which was right at the very bottom of my ceiling to floor range last year. Because I think they had the highest in the West, but the second highest overall in terms of my regular season prediction for them. And that was ceiling of 64 wins, reasonable prediction of 54 wins, and the floor of 44. So right exactly the record that they ended up with was my floor for them. And that was a big part of that was the whole Jordan Poole scandal at the beginning of the season.
That was part of it, yeah.
Then they had the worst road record of any winning team of all time.
Which was wild. They just could not. And it was all at the beginning. They like front loaded like 13 road losses before they could get one. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. And like Golden State's always been a team that's like, okay, we win at home. But not to the extent of we win at home, but then just like take days off on the road.
Yeah,
like it's never been that bad.
I believe they won 11 games on the road last year total, which is just nuts.
30?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Uh-huh. And they were in the second round of the playoffs and they went to a game 7 against the Lakers. So they could have very easily been in the Western Conference Finals. But yeah, so they were 44-38. Like I said, their over-underline for this year is going to be 48.5 wins.
I think that's a good adjustment because, like, I think the biggest there was like 3 main problems. Jordan Poole turned into a shadow of what he was the year previous, like disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Wiggins being gone for a while and Curry being hurt on and off. Like I like there were so many things that culminated to almost call it worst case scenario, and that's what led him to the floor. Like of your predictions, like the ceiling and floors, like that's why they probably were on the floor because they had absolutely everything go wrong. Like if Steph gets hurt on and off and Jordan Poole would have looked fine, I think it would have been a lot better of a like season because Jordan Poole could have not done Steph things, but like alleviated some of the loss on offense instead of them trying to scramble to figure things out before. And Steph wasn't gone in giant stretches, but he was gone for enough chunks that it really hurt. And then Andrew Wiggins, I think being gone was a big loss on the defensive side. for them, is they've got a lot of great defenders, but Wiggins is, every team needs a guy that you can say, there's their best player. Just follow him around and don't let him do anything. And that's what Wiggins was for him. And he just wasn't available to do that. I like that they bumped the lineup over, like they acknowledged that, like, we're not going to drop it to what last there, because usually you see it around where the win total was last year, is right around where the lines are, but giving him a 4-game bump is a pretty substantial bump, acknowledging that this team is just better. Oh, and by the way, they have a Hall of Fame point guard to run their second team offense now.
That is very true with Chris Paul. I forget about that like every week. I feel like that he is on the Golden State Warriors right now. But yeah, so looking at their offseason acquisitions, Chris Paul, as we've mentioned, Andrew Wiggins, you can kind of look at as like a, acquisition in a way, because he's coming back to this team, and he was not with this team for the majority of last season, especially at the last half of it. Came back right before the playoffs started. And then we have Gary Payton II, similar type of thing. They got him last year midseason, got him back, but he was injured as soon as he got there.
Oh, because that trade almost blew up. I forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly. But as far as actual new faces, we have Brandon Pajimski, who is, I think, the 19th pick in the draft for them, somewhere around there, right outside the lottery. And then Corey Joseph, so a veteran point guard. I believe this is his second stint with the Warriors, I want to say. Maybe not, though. And then Dario Saric, another veteran. I think the veterans they got in here, which, I mean, is mainly just Corey Joseph and Dario Saric, if you don't want to count Chris Paul, is definitely like Warriors-esque players. Guys that are like high IQ, play your role, mature. I think guys that can play around Steph and around that Golden State ecosystem pretty well. So that will be good. And then they also have Trace Jackson Davis, who is their second round pick this year out of Indiana. But yeah, so I don't think they have a full roster quite yet, because they only have one guy on their two-way spots, which is Lester Quinones, who I've never heard of until now. He's from Memphis, apparently. But yeah, that's why I'm kind of feeling like, I mean, looking at the young guys, I guess, that could take a step up. We have Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody. That's really about it. I mean, Andrew Wiggins, if you want to count him as young, he's kind of smack dab in his prime at this point.
Well, and I think the biggest thing is like the way that guys step up is stay healthy. Because this team is a force that...
If everybody's playing all the games, yeah.
No, if everybody... I mean, okay, this is a question. If every team in the NBA is healthy, what team would you be the most worried about running into a 7-game series with the Nuggets? It's the Warriors, maybe. I feel like they would be up there just because, like,
definitely.
If they have the health, the Lakers would be another one. If like AD can just be like insano mode and not have injuries and decide he wants to play.
Milwaukee
would be another big one too. And not that these teams, but like I feel like last year we saw there was a real chance that the Warriors could have had a real run at a two-peat if they would have stayed healthy. Like going back to back again. So it's just, I think the injuries are the thing that was where we can see the most improvement for them.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. So I guess for looking at their line, 48.5, I'm feeling not great about it. This might be my stay away, to be honest.
Oh, that's bold.
There's one other team.
No, there's a team that I barely looked. I didn't even think about the teams. I just looked at the logos when I was like, okay. And I was like, that's going to be my stay away. And it was not Golden State.
Yeah, I know which team you're talking about, but I don't know if just looking at their lines, I might feel a little more safe with you given the under to that team that you're talking about.
Oh, because I guess I don't know the line. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's close. I might change. So because none of these picks are locked in stone until the end of the episode. But for now, I'm putting my stay away on the Golden State Warriors at 48.5.
I'm going to be optimistic for the Warriors, and I'm going to say they hit the over. Because I think more things have to go wrong than have to go right for them to be in that 47 to 49, 50 wins. So I'll go with that. Because everybody stays healthy, I think they get there easily. And then there's just a chance that CP3, if he just leans into this guy off the bench, there won't be a drop off at all. in terms of what their offensive production. Because usually you see like a little bit of like when that second unit comes in, you just see like things slow down offensively for almost every team, almost. And I feel like that will be almost just completely removed because of what CP3 will do. Well, I saw some crazy. He started every single one of his career games. It's like 1,200 and something. He started in all of them. So if he just comes off the bench and plays, I mean, I'm sure he'll play not starter minutes, but he'll play in the mid 20s. Yeah,
27 minutes probably.
Yeah, like a very strong amount of minutes. And if it's off the bench, I just think that it could just really help, like, your guy that's helping facilitate your young Moses Moody's and your Kumingas is Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's how they take a step up, is because of who's like facilitating and building things.
Yeah, and that's a lot different than just like mentioning some good star out there that's older that you're like, think about that person doing this with the young guys. Like, we've seen Chris Paul do that at multiple stops now with young guys developing.
Biggest stop, and he's done it at all of them. Unlocked Devin Booker. Like, Devin Booker was already like a guy, but like Devin Booker is a different level of player now.
DeAndre Ayton. I mean, right when he got there is when DeAndre Ayton became way more valuable than he had been.
Well, people were calling him a bust, and then Chris Paul shows up and like, wait, this guy's like, if he figures out the fouls, the key to stopping Giannis, what? And then obviously in the finals it didn't work out, but
and then did we mention Shea? I don't even think did we mention Shea with Thunder? Yeah, that would be, I think, Exhibit A.
That was just a short little stint that I totally forgot about. And, but
I think that's the biggest example of it.
His fingerprints are everywhere. He's a puppet master of just young people like taking a step. So that could be huge. And for all we know, the way we talk about Shea could be the way we talk about Moses Moody in a couple years. Just like a guy that's probably dramatic, but
in the sense of he took a big step up because of Chris Paul. And
then that's the way to do it. So I think I am going to, as I said, I think I'm going to lean over, because I think more things have to go wrong for them to hit the under than have to go right to hit the over.
Yeah. I'm not,
and this also might change because I don't know what the lines are. I don't look at that ahead of time. So maybe if the Clippers are the team I was skeptical on giving a line or a pick for and staying away, because if Kawhi plays honestly 50 games, I feel good about taking.
Yeah, Kawhi playing 50 games would be amazing.
That's just crazy to think that's what.
I don't think he's done that since Toronto.
Anyway,
never mind. He's actually, how has he played 50 games in each Clippers season other than the one he missed he didn't play a single game in 2022.
Yeah.
But his other 3 seasons, he played 57 the first year, 52 the second year, and 52 again last year.
I also wonder I don't remember him like getting out of games early. So maybe we're just like, granted, not playing 60 games is still crazy. Like, and being like not debilitatingly injured, just like, and I don't know, like Kawhi might have some sort of weird thing that he's just never gotten figured out. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I'm sure he does. Yeah. I don't know why else he would be the way he is.
Yeah. So for the sake of basketball, hey, doctors, could we point our focus to Kawhi Leonard? Maybe get that figured out. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it's confirmed that he has a degenerative knee issue, but I think what is like that, like it's going to stay with him the rest of his life. I think that's medically confirmed.
I didn't know that.
The thing is, the doctors aren't able to like tell really, I guess, when he's like game ready. If like it's bothering him to the point that he has to sit out type of thing. Like he says that he doesn't trust the doctor's advice with things like that because he feels like he knows how to gauge it better.
No, and because he doesn't want the team to just like pretty much cut 4 years off of his career because they want him to play.
And so that was the issue in San Antonio. And the Clippers are like letting him do that. And the Raptors let him do that. But San Antonio, it was like, you're giving up on your team and you're being selfish. That was like the drama that happened. And that's why he asked out with San Antonio.
Yeah. But as we were kind of rambling here, I forgot to get the timer going, but we're pretty close to the 15 minutes just based on looking at the clock. So, as always, we're going to wrap this up with watchability scores brought to you by the greatest state in the union, the 37th state, Nebraska. So here's the Nebraska watchability scores. For me, for the Warriors, it'll be fun to watch at the beginning. I think, like, a lot of fun, like, to see, like, everybody's healthy, Chris Paul's doing Chris Paul things, and then I won't care.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't be like, I need to watch this night in and night out. Early, like a 8-1. Later, as the season drags on, unless there's something compelling like a Moses Moody taking a giant leap or something like that, probably dwindles down to like a 5-7.
That's fair. I think that's
because
fair.
they're a good team. It's not like you're watching bad basketball. But
yeah, I think my watchability score is going to be a 7-3. Even a 7-3.
I don't know what the average of the two numbers I said, but that's probably pretty close to it.
Yeah, probably a little bit,
maybe a little bit
higher. But
yeah.
But I tend to lean higher than you do, so
that's true. And greatest Warriors jersey that you can think of ever.
Oh, I forgot about this segment. Man, they have a lot, but I wouldn't say they have a lot of like great ones.
They have a lot of like 5 out of 10s.
Oh, I know what it is. It's their recent throwback to the Run TMC jerseys. Those blue with the diagonal Warriors with the C, the captain patch on it for Steph's jersey.
Yep.
I like those. Those are clean, especially the new ones. I like the new versions of them.
Yeah. I think I'm going to just go with the... Oh, man, this is tough. I think it's their... So it looks pretty much exactly like their standard home without the text, but it's all black.
Okay, yeah.
So it's all black, but it's got like the yellow with the... It's got like... So it's still that little circle patch that's got the number in it and the Golden Gate Bridge, but just everything is yellow. There's no blue, or if there is blue, there's like lightning on it.
Oh, okay. I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
I just like the all black with the yellow. The lightning is just kind of there inconsequentially, to me at least. Anything, my least favorite jersey of theirs, I hate the one that's Town. Just says Town on it.
The Town?
Or is it The Town?
Yeah, because that's like the nickname one of the nicknames of the Bay.
Is The Town?
I think San Francisco maybe is. I don't know which city of the Bay cities are, but
that's fine. I'm just not a fan.
Yeah.
I think it's also that it's just a tree.
Also, when I think The Town, maybe it's just because of the movie, but when I hear The Town, I think of Boston. Because, the movie The Town, but I don't know if that's because that's like I don't know. There's a lot. I feel like that's a very generic nickname that a lot of cities probably have.
Well, and now that I'm looking at it, I didn't even realize that the word "the" was there. It's so little, just above the T in Town, so it looks like it's just Town and then a tree. They could be talking about Nebraska City, home of Arbor Day, for all I know.
Yeah, Tree Town.
No, actually, that is the official jersey of Arbor Day.
Yeah. The other thing I'll say about the Golden State Warriors jerseys is they're like normal home and away jerseys right now. I think they have like my favorite font, like jersey number font.
Yes.
That's probably like my go-to favorite font.
I usually hate when teams like don't hide the numbers, but it's not just like, here's the number, But the Warriors, they do it, and I like their little. I mean, my favorite Warriors jersey has like a weird little number thing. So I think overall the Warriors have very few bad jerseys, but very few elite jerseys. They've just got like a giant catalog of 5 out of 10.
Yeah, in terms of the bad, I think it's that their ones right now. They have the black ones with the gold like rose thing on the bottom.
Oh yeah,
that is atrocious. I'm not a big fan of that one. But, yeah, so that will do it for the Golden State Warriors. Moving on now to a team we've already kind of started talking about, the Los Angeles Clippers. Their record last year was 44-38, so the same exact record as Golden State. And they were also within my ceiling and floor range. They were toward the bottom of it. I had them at 52 wins as their reasonable prediction, ceiling 60, floor 42. And they ended up at 44, so... But looking at their over-under line, they have 46.5 for this upcoming season, the LA Clippers. And I think that's a pretty decent line, but
It's
I
easy
guess
to go under.
it is. But looking at the roster, I guess is important. I haven't done that yet. So obviously they have Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. Not sure how much those guys will be playing, but if it's anything like the last few seasons, it's going to be very hit or miss, basically like half the games. Marcus Morris Sr. is still here. Nick Batum, Robert Covington, Ivica Zubac, Terrence Mann, Mason Plumlee, Russell Westbrook. So a lot of returning guys from last year. Same with Amir Coffey. And Bones Highland is still here. And Brandon Boston Jr. and Jason Preston. Those are all the guys that were there last year that are still here. The new additions, I think, are only 2 players, it looks like. And that will be, as far as just their full-time roster spots, not looking at two-way. And that is Kenyon Martin Jr., so KJ Martin, and Kobe Brown, who I believe came out of the draft this year. Yeah, he did. He's in the draft this year. So not a lot of changes to the roster, really. I still don't love the fit with Russell Westbrook on this team, but it's better, definitely a lot better than the Lakers.
I also think that in the way that like the Lakers used, or in theory, where Russell Westbrook was like, okay, if LeBron's not playing, or just go be a little Energizer Bunny battery and go do stuff. Like that's what it kind of turned into, and that just didn't work in, I can't say in LA, but for the Lakers.
Yeah.
I feel like for the Clippers, oh, well, we only have Paul George and Kawhi for 50 games, whatever. Because both Kawhi Leonard gets a lot of it, but Paul George also misses a lot of basketball.
Yeah, no, for sure. A lot.
Not as much as Kawhi, but a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
So maybe their thing is just like, yeah, this will just be Westbrook's team when Kawhi and Paul aren't good to go that evening.
Yeah.
And then he'll just run around and do stuff. Because he still can. I mean, he's not like MVP season anymore, Westbrook, but he's still a good NBA player. It's not like he's like this, like, washed up, end of his career scrub. Like he, weirdly enough, has been bounced around like he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like usually when a guy goes to this many teams at the end of their career, it's like, it's because he's like got nothing left. I don't think he has the same amount as he used to. He's just hard to put with anybody else.
Yeah, it's weird circumstances for sure because, things blew up in Oklahoma City, so he asked out, went to Houston, who was another team that was right on the end of, like, their window of, like, are we going to do this or not? Spent a year there. Their window ended, blew everything up. Coach, GM, everybody left. So then he got traded again to the Wizards, which was, like, not an ideal fit from the start. Like, it wasn't a bad fit, but it wasn't like a team that you would think Russell Westbrook would want to be spending time at.
But apparently, Washington loves him.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Things went really well there. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it just is wild because, like, they're like, yeah, we loved that. It's like, he's just like a beloved son of Washington.
Yeah, he gave him a playoff spot. Him and just Bradley Beal. Yeah.
Just a wild thing to be excited about.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only playoff spot they've had really since John Wall.
The Boston Warriors fight or whatever the heck that weird thing was.
At least I can't. I
don't Scary remember. Terry, who's that? And then he called him.
Oh yeah, 2018.
He called him Drew Bledsoe.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Yeah,
also, it was wild that Eric Bledsoe was the guy that like fought. He was angry. Anyway.
Yeah,
that year was crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah, and then Russ on the Lakers was just terrible fit all the way around. Like you said, the theory of him going there was that he was going to be the workhorse while those guys were out.
Mm-hmm.
But then they didn't build around. They didn't like bring the pieces to the team in order to do that. Even when LeBron and AD aren't in, you need a team built around Russell Westbrook. What does that look like? Just have a bunch of 3-and-D players. Didn't have any of those. Which
also would work with LeBron and AD. It's not like you were
exactly.
That's how they won their championship. Fun fact:
yeah.
There's a bunch of 3-and-D guys around LeBron and AD. So It's not like they were like making their real team worse by making the Russell Westbrook part of it better.
It was a failure all the way around.
Do either.
Yeah, it was terrible. And that's why I just hated that team going into both of the last 2 seasons. Why are we talking
about the Lakers on the Clippers? Clippers people are going to be so mad.
Talking about Russ. But yeah, so my point is he fits so much better with this team.
Yes.
Because him and LeBron and AD, don't fit even in the slightest. LeBron and AD fit well together, but add Russell Westbrook in there, it's like you don't have anybody that can shoot. But two of those guys need the ball all the time. With Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, both of them can play off the ball pretty well, especially Paul George. And both of them are great shooters as well. So they provide a lot of spacing. Doesn't take anything away from Russell Westbrook at all when he has the ball in his hands. So that fits well. And then outside of that, when Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are out, their entire team is made out of 3-and-D players. So, a perfect roster to just kind of put Russell Westbrook as the point guard of works out pretty well. So I like it for that reason. So I don't know why I started off saying this, that I don't like the fit with him with the team. I guess what I mean by that is there's not a lot of teams I do love the fit with Russ Westbrook, but
this is an ideal situation for a contender.
Yeah.
Like him on a team where he's not option one is not optimal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is the most optimal, not optimal situation for him to be in.
Perfect way to put it. That's
very
why
rarely am I the one that
big
figures out the
bucks.
wording. Speaking of paying the big bucks, buy Logan coffees down in the description at Buy Me a Coffee, as well as go to patreon.com/hoop theory. I've got a bunch of videos stored up of me practicing to run a marathon or training, whatever the word is, because I'm doing it, working on my diets.
You recorded like you actually training?
I have them on my phone, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like
it's
a
like
vlog.
a Rocky montage.
I thought you were like talking about like what you were going to do for the like your
it's
plan.
Like so. What it is I go do something, and at the end I like talk about
it. Okay.
So like I'm visibly tired.
Yeah.
And sweaty.
Okay.
So
I can't wait to see those.
Be a Patreon person, and you get a little look-see at those. And if no one does it, then they will never go to the world.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on you. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Also, check out YouTube, Spotify. If you're on Spotify, give us 5 stars. It helps us. YouTube, like, comment, subscribe if you're watching. Hello. And TikToks. If you're coming here from TikTok, isn't it wonderful to hear the whole context? Anyway, with that being said,
back into the Clippers.
You make a compelling argument about because I was immediately going to give them the stay away stamp. And then I saw the line, and I'm like, that is an easy under.
Yeah, like, I don't know if I would say easy, but easier than the Warriors. It
makes like, because there's another team, like now that I'm really thinking about it, now that I'm just ignoring just like, oh, I'm going to use my stay away on the Clippers. There's like Kings, like this is a bunch of stayaways.
Yeah.
It's a division. It's a division of stayaways. Though honestly, I think I feel the best about the Golden State over might end up being my lock because I don't know what else to do. Not actually, I don't know the other lines, but
let's go with it.
It might end up being I don't know. We've got time, but
yeah.
So I think I'm going to go under, not lock, but because that line's high, even if everybody plays with how good the West is, there's if they get 70 games out of Kawhi Paul, there's still a chance they don't hit that number. That's a bit dramatic, but
I mean, I feel like they probably would, but the thing is, the West is getting more competitive, like you said, and it's more wins than they had last year, and I'm like, how good do I feel about both of those guys playing more than they did last year? Kawhi played 52 games last year, apparently, like we said. Paul George played 56. You feel good about Paul George and Kawhi Leonard playing more than 56-ish games?
And the thing that's important is if they're both gone, it's almost an auto lose unless you're against like 3 teams.
And Russ is having a great day, I guess. Or
I guess
Bones Highland is going off, things like that. Yeah. They have players, but
it's just a lot to get.
It's just all these rosters are so full of players that deserve playing time. And like we've gone over the last several episodes,
primed for expansion, Adam. Sorry, headphone users.
Also, the Clippers need to move back to San Diego, in my opinion.
I think they need to go back to Minnesota. Just kidding.
The Clippers do?
I'm just kidding.
I don't think they've ever been there.
No, they were somewhere else. That's why they're Clippers.
I think
or they're in San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego is why they're the Clippers.
Yeah, you're right.
They were they had a different name before.
The California Clippers. It's actually not that bad.
Oh, California Clippers. They just went by that, you mean? They were from the Northeast originally. I think they were from Buffalo Buffalo Braves. Or the Buffalo Braves.
That is the Clippers.
Yeah.
Basketball is way harder than football because, like, unless you're like the Cardinals, they bounced everywhere. But it's usually like line to line. It's not like bing, 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 bing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And isn't there multiple Braves
in NBA history?
Yeah.
Maybe. I just know of the Buffalo Braves. There might be another
Was there
one.
a Boston Braves?
Oh, well, that was because so a long time ago, before Bill Russell and everything, the owners of the Braves and the Celtics wanted to move, they wanted to just move to each other's cities, and so they just swapped teams straight up. The only capital moved in the deal was just trading each other's teams, which is hilarious to look back at how much more valuable the Celtics is versus what that team was. But
okay.
So maybe at one point the name was Boston Braves, and then they moved to Buffalo.
But that also might be a different sport for all I know. That might be hockey. I don't.
Yeah, it's very likely that it is this though.
But
it's very likely that it is this though, because I do know that the team that was in Buffalo and the team that was in Boston flopped. Like the owners of them just traded basically. So that might have been the mascots might have changed too. I'm not sure. But
it was baseball.
Okay.
The Boston Braves are now the Atlanta Braves.
Oh. Interesting. And another franchise that is worth a lot of money.
Yeah. City Champions, baby. I'm going to start doing that like the Lakers do with... Speaking of Lakers, we can do this in a little bit. Sorry, Clippers, we've kind of given your time to the Lakers, which is probably the last team you wanted us to bring up.
You just mentioned the Lakers. We haven't been talking about the Lakers, to be fair. We did for a little bit before.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just going to start claiming every city that had a stop in Boston, every team. I'm just going to claim those as Boston titles. Just all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though they're not the same franchise, I'm still going to do it. City of Champions, Atlanta won the World Series. Yeah. Anyway, Atlanta's also just a murderer on the baseball side. I've tried to dabble with baseball to improve my game, and yeah. So, in terms of Clipper talk, what is your definitive pick? Where are we at for that?
So I think I'm going to go under and leave my stay away on the Warriors. I definitely can see the world where they go over here, but I just don't feel great about it for the reasons that we said. I don't feel like there's going to be a lot of health on this roster. At least it's hard to bet on. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So we're both feeling the unders. So that will do it for the picks there. And then we have the watchability score to do.
Brought to you by the 37th state in the Union, Nebraska. I will do 2-4.
Wow.
Just
not
nothing,
a Clipper guy.
Just doesn't get the needle moving for me.
Yeah. When
Kawhi's healthy and is in Terminator mode, that's fun because he's I am the greatest player on the planet. And you're you kind of look like it, but it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to tune into 82 games to witness one.
Yeah. I guess to incorporate, factor in the missed games from their best players, they'll probably be a 4-6 for me. I guess I'll put them down.
I feel average people are probably right where you're at. They're big market. Steve Ballmer's funny.
Yeah,
honestly, the California Clippers is a big Steve Ballmer move. He would totally do that.
Why? Why are we talking about that? California?
No, just because they moved to San Diego, wherever. But he just is we are California's team.
Oh, they already have Golden State, but that'd be kind of weird.
That'd be funnier though.
San Diego Clippers make sense because San Diego is famous for the ships,
for
the
boats.
Yeah,
Navy Yard.
And
but
yeah, I feel that would be best, but obviously that's not going to happen because they are just getting finished. I think this is going to be the first year in the Intuit Dome. So the new arena in that was where the Forum was torn down, and now
is hilarious.
Yeah, the Intuit Dome. In Inglewood, California, which is a suburb of Los Angeles. So, yeah, and it's an arena built for basketball. Apparently, it's not built with arena tours and those kind of things in mind. It's
optimized
solely
for basketball.
Exactly.
How?
I don't know, but that is what Steve Ballmer says. That's like his.
Well, I just
his
feel
whole
like
tagline.
I've been to a couple places to watch basketball, and some are better than others.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how you optimize basketball viewership.
Yeah, it's also
in an
for
arena
players
setting.
too. Like he talked, like
Well, probably
way
because they're sick of having like, it's Laker time.
Mhm.
Step to the side, San Diego Clippers.
Yeah. But apparently, like the way that players and fans, I think, like the way they walk in, the way they can like be at the like concession stands, stuff like, and still see like the game going on, like stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that is actually shout out to Steve Ballmer for that one, using that Microsoft money for the good of America. But then jerseys. This one's easy for me.
Oh, man, I keep forgetting to think about jerseys. The Clippers jerseys. Why is this easy for you?
Baby blues.
Oh, okay. Like the new baby blues or the ones they had back with like Blake Griffin?
Like the Blake Griffin baby blues, like the first thing that pops into my head.
So like the red letters, not the white ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me make sure I've got
or
this
red
correct.
Numbers, I mean.
Yes, red number, for sure.
Okay. Because like I like the baby blues right now. They have two, which is white.
The lightning.
Oh no, I don't see that one. But the white ones, like white text, and the Clippers is like diagonal, cursive. Clippers. I don't mind honestly those black ones that have like the super weird font, like the.
Wait, did they not make an unsleeved version of this baby blue Blake? I swore they had one that didn't have sleeves.
I don't know. Honestly.
If it always had sleeves, I take that back.
Yeah.
I retract my previous statement.
But just a non-sleeved version of that would be, in theory, the Clippers jersey for
that
you.
Would hit so hard.
Yeah, I agree. That would be a good
no,
one.
it doesn't. It's pretty much what you're saying. It's not exactly, but is this orange or is my computer breaking?
What are you looking at?
The accent colors on the diagonal clip, that's for sure orange.
Oh, yeah, that's that. So their original color palette was orange. Well, back when they were the Braves, it was orange and black, or like a brownish, kind of like Cincinnati, like the Bengals, kind of like that. And then when they moved to San Diego, it was light blue and orange.
Okay.
And now when they moved to, LA, they were still light blue and orange for a while, and eventually they became red.
There's the history of the Clippers.
Yeah, and also Donald Sterling, I don't know if people know this, because he's the one who bought the team when they were in San Diego, and he just moved him to LA without asking anybody.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't ask the league was not aware that he was just doing that, but he moved, like they were still called the San Diego Clippers for a little while they played in Los Angeles because he just moved them.
Wow. They should have knew that guy was going to say the N-word. They should have known that it was going to be a problem. Anyway, that does it for the Clippers. Moving on to their fellow city neighbor.
Fellow city neighbor. Exactly.
I was trying to think of their crosstown rival.
The bane of their existence.
Their distasteful dystopian. I'm trying to think of like a word that means a person that starts with a D, but I can't.
What?
Because I was saying like all D words. So like they're the disdain. Dystopian was dumb. I was just thinking of more words. Anyway, that's let's talk. Detractor. Ooh. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers in depth more now.
Fine. I don't really want to, but we can.
Well, I'm also good to cut them short. I won't care.
I'm just joking. We kind of have a shtick going of making fun of Lakers fans, but
I didn't know it was a shtick. This is me in my normal life.
Yeah. But yeah, looking at the Lakers, their record last year was 43-39. They were the most confusingly good team in the NBA last year because, well, actually, no, I take that back. The Heat were, but the Lakers were like super bad most of the season and then became an entirely new team because of their not off season, but mid-season acquisitions at the deadline. completely restructured everything. LeBron came back.
It's like a LeBron trademark. He like just demands a team throw the Woj bomb.
It seems like this time it wasn't even LeBron though, which I think is the best sign of why
it
the Lakers'
worked?
future. Yeah, and that. Like in the past, it's just been like, oh, go get more veteran. Like that's how the Lakers have been building this whole time. Is how LeBron does the trade deadlines on his previous
Go get
teams.
my friends now.
Yeah, or go get my friends, or go get like proven veteran players, like that type of thing.
Like are very clearly on a downhill slight.
Yeah, and then Rob Pelinka was like, oh no, let's actually get some pieces in here that like make sense, like make a actual system, around
so
the LeBron
when you
AD.
leave LeBron, we're not like the worst team in the NBA.
That too.
We'll
got
just
some youth
because that's what happened in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Worked out for him. Also, speaking of that, do you remember
Twice.
when Tristan? I'm more talking about the second time.
Yeah.
When Tristan Thompson, after LeBron left, said the East still runs through Cleveland, and then won 19 games.
Did they win 19 games that season?
I'm pretty sure it was like 19.
I know
games.
They started 0-6. I remember that because they fired Ty Lue.
They won like what? Because what year would it have been? Would it have been 2019, 2020, 2018, 2019?
Yeah, 18-19. Mm-hmm. So the 19 season was LeBron's first year in LA. But yeah, so what are you just searching in the record?
I just want to make sure it was how many games it was. You had 19 and 63.
Yeah. But yeah, then they got Darius Garland, Evan Mobley in the draft, Colin Sexton before that. So things worked out. They're in a pretty good spot now. But look at the Lakers though. So the record last year 43-39. My ceiling and floor was 52-30. That sounds like that's the which I think that is a record actually. So that was super confusing to say out loud. Their ceiling was 52 wins and their floor was 30 wins. But also 52-30 is a legit record. So that was just confusing. So the line for the Los Angeles Lakers for this upcoming season is 47.5. So they have to win 48 to go over there, which is a pretty good line. Again, don't feel great about either choice, to be honest. But I guess, do you have thoughts on this while I sit here and stew?
This is a toughie. The best version that we saw of the Lakers was at the end of last year. Like that's when they hit their stride and were really going. So I almost wonder if that's what they'll come out of the gate with.
Yeah, for sure.
And then that makes that line feel very, very attainable.
Mm-hmm. Especially if LeBron and AD say somewhat healthy.
Yeah, but then there's also the side, and I shouldn't say this, but when is the LeBron not cliff? But when is the slowdown gonna start? Because we've already seen that he can't go into I'm him mode all the time. Like he can give him a juicy half, and then he's like, I need a break. Which is he's got 18 years going on 19 years of NBA just going, or no 20.
20, yeah, I was gonna say I think it's 20.
This will be 20.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense. But it's just, when is the slowdown going to start? There's got to be a point where not the wheels ever come off. I don't think with a player like LeBron, the wheels will ever truly come off because of his IQ side of things. But when does he not become this, I am going to be the one or two, first or second best player on a championship contender?
Yeah. I don't think it'll be this year. I don't think it'll be this year.
So I think actually I'm going to go under. Through that whole talking and thinking and stewing, I'm going to go under. The losses or the wins from other people that we think is this rising West have to come from somewhere. Mm-hmm. Someone has to lose more games.
That's true.
Not more games, but lose games.
Yeah.
And if teams play LA on a back-to-back, those are the types of games that I don't think they'll win every back-to-back they play. They might just be not throw the towel in, and then for all I know, we'll see Austin Reeves turn into just
Manu Ginobili.
Just continue his trajectory, and it'll all get swept up, and I'll look like a babbling idiot. But
yeah, I think that their team, honestly, the roster is even better than they ended the year with, which is the big thing that changed, last year is they got a better roster. I think they improved on it again in the offseason with adding Gabe Vincent, Taurean Prince, Jalen Hood-Schifino was a draft pick this year. Christian Wood is on this team now. I don't know if you knew that.
Yep.
Cam Reddish was an offseason acquisition. I think Maxwell Lewis is also a rookie this year. So they've got, some guys they've brought in. They didn't lose
And then
much.
everybody that, because I think, I'm almost positive. When we talked about our free agency breakdown, they were my winner.
Yeah.
I had, because I was like, they just got all of these pieces and all these guys, the value they got Austin Reeves at, which no one else bullied them, which I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
That was weird to me that they did, somebody didn't, unless Austin Reeves was telling other people no.
Yeah.
And was willing to come back to the Lakers. And maybe he was. Maybe he's like, playing with LeBron makes me look better than I would anywhere else. So I'll just go get a giant bag after looking insane with LeBron for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Maybe that was part of the thought process. But the fact that another team didn't try to outbid for the services of Austin Reeves was interesting to me. And they just were like, yeah, let's let the Lakers keep him. I just think they got coincidentally, also another thing, is there a point where, because I'm sure you've seen this, if you take D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura and add their contracts together, do you know what the magic number that makes is?
No, I don't. Off the top of my head.
Kyrie Irving's exact contract.
So Rui and D'Lo?
I think it's Rui and D'Lo. I might be missing one piece.
That would make sense. At 30, it's about 33. Looks like.
No, but I think it's almost comically exactly what Kyrie makes.
Yeah.
So that could be another wrinkle of this team if they're not liking where we're going. I don't know why. I don't think Kyrie would obviously Kyrie's a better player than Rui and D'Angelo Russell. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying are they going to do what old LeBron teams do and go get a more veteran guy that LeBron is his friend and buddies with?
And Kyrie works super well with LeBron, one of the best teammates he's ever had. Mm-hmm.
Because we're LeBron needs help. Kyrie
especially
just kind
in that way, yeah,
does those things to a T.
Yeah, yeah, and Austin, even though he'd probably be coming in and taking Austin Reeves' role from him a little bit, that doesn't seem like it would be too much of an issue because Austin Reeves we've seen play just about everything. Role. So
he would just get moved, and he'd be like, "Oh, I'm our small ball center now. This is kind of crazy. I don't know why AD's still playing the 4, but if you want me to, LeBron."
Yeah, no, for real. That honestly,
I will not be shocked that there will be some time when they don't slide AD to the 5, and they'll have someone that should not be playing small ball center be doing it so AD can just go play the 4.
Yeah,
because he's put it out to the world that he wants to play the 4. Mm-hmm. Again, he's stamped it down. He's bounced back and forth. I'm willing to do whatever the team needs. And then he's like, no, I'm a power forward.
Yeah.
And then so this summer, again, he was like, I'm a power forward.
Yeah. And so their solution to that was they brought in Jackson Hayes and Christian Wood, which both very limber, or I should say skinny, lengthy guys. Jared Vanderbilt is another guy they have that could play center.
Love Vando.
Yeah. Rui could be a small ball center. LeBron himself can play small ball center.
And Austin Reeves. Not actually. In terms of actual fit, that Austin Reeves is not a small ball center. Mm-hmm. I'm not crazy. I just was making a joke about how he will literally do anything to a shockingly decent level.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, so he would be able to shift roles, kind of fit along Kyrie, whatever they need him to do. That's what Austin Reeves is there for. So, yeah, I do like that idea though that you just put together. I'm sure you saw that somewhere. I'm guessing. Did you? Or did you just?
Yes. No, somebody had. Well, and I think it was like a meme I saw because somebody was like, "What a coincidence by the Lakers front office to make these players
exactly the same salary
sign for and maybe it's 3 players. I can't remember, but it's a perfect money package to hand to the Mavericks is here's Kyrie Irving's exact money. Tell us what you want. It just works.
I'd say especially if they things aren't working well for the Mavs, which is very likely to happen.
Okay, but then think about that. D'Lo going to the Mavs, terrible.
Well, yeah, but
Rui on the Mavs. I don't hate that.
I know that.
I like that.
I like that too. But I think there's going to be one of the Lakers' very coveted draft picks. I think put in a deal like that to go get Kyrie Irving because it would be a move for the Mavs to move off of Kyrie and try to cash in on some of that value for some assets that they could then flip or try to finesse something around Luka, to make him stay and rebuild the team that they for some reason gutted to trade to get Kyrie for, and now they've lost their third best player, or the guy that was their third best player last year, Christian Wood, but they got Grant Williams, which I think it might be honestly a better addition,
fit, and fit. Grant Williams is RIP.
Yeah, so
I'm going to, honestly, when we get to the Mavericks, their watchability might be bumped up. Not as much as the Grizzlies will be because of Marcus Smart.
Oh yeah, but a little bit for the Mavs, yeah.
Yeah, I was a big Kelly Olynyk guy for a while when he just went off and got a bag and was just doing great things for. What team did he go just look great? Was it Miami?
Miami was where he spent most of his career, yeah, besides Boston. I think he might have been in Miami longer than Boston even. It's close, but Miami, Boston, and then ever since then he's been bouncing. But he spent some time with the Rockets, he was with the Pistons, now he's with the Jazz.
But yeah. Anyway.
I think I'm going to lean a slight over just because I mean, I do think it's a really good line, but like I said, I see this team as a better team this year. And I could definitely see maybe AD and LeBron. I don't know. For some reason, I just have an oddly pretty decent level of faith in this Lakers team this upcoming season. What the pieces will look like coming together. I like the fit. And if they struggle with any sort of injuries, I think Austin Reeves has turned himself into that piece that can carry a little bit of the load and ball handling duties and even a star type of role while LeBron is out. So, yeah, that's why I feel pretty decent about the over. As decent as you can feel this season. Like we've talked about, I don't know if we've mentioned this episode, but going through all these teams so far this year, there's barely any teams I feel good about at all for my picks. It's kind of weird. It's a big question mark is how I feel about a lot of these teams coming into the season. But yeah, so that will do it for the Lakers over-under picks. Moving on to their watchability score. My pick for this one, I'm going to probably give them like a 5.9, maybe a little bit more, 6.1. I'll give them a 6.1 just because, like I said, Austin Reeves is fun. And a lot of their other, just Jared Vanderbilt, very fun. There's some pieces I like here. And I think this team fits well together. And I like watching teams that make sense, that fit together as a roster. So I'm going to go with a 6.1. What about you, Jacob?
I think I'll give them, they're a middle of the road for me. We'll call it a 5.0. They're just really right there in the middle for me.
All right.
And jersey-wise, maybe they're white ones that say Los Angeles with I'm trying to think which era the font is.
Like the light blue?
No, it's white. The jersey's white.
Yeah, the jersey's white, but the font is
purple.
Purple.
It's like purple, and it's got how the Los Angeles has the little swooshes, it's moving fast.
Oh, I think I know which ones you're talking about. I don't see it right now as I'm looking through, but I'm
trying to think if there's one I'm totally blanking on.
I like their Kobe, like the Black Mamba jerseys.
The Kobe tribute thing.
Yeah, the Black City edition. Those ones are great. It's their kind of their. I don't think there's any purple. Yeah, it's just the black and gold.
Yep.
I like those ones a lot.
Now that I'm looking at it, it might be the. This is weird. I just didn't think it would be that. Yeah, just the purple Magic era Lakers jerseys.
Okay. Yeah, going with classic ones.
Yeah,
I think their jerseys right now are better than they were in the Kobe era, to be honest. Because
I think every team, almost every team's jerseys are all just because they have a bigger catalog.
Yeah,
they have so much more.
I mean, the current ones, this era.
Oh, the ones they're using. Okay, yeah.
Because I think they do a really good job of making them look more modern, but still keeping they're doing the play on the classic look of the jersey, like the Lakers numbers, the jersey numbers. Yeah. But the Kobe era, they completely just did a different thing. Their jerseys now are the classic Lakers numbers, but they're more clean and modern looking, not as kind of old and derpy, as the Showtime Lakers jerseys were. So I like that. It's like a tasteful little play on their classic
history.
Yeah, exactly. Celtics are pretty good at that too. Honestly, both those teams are good at doing that. But yeah, so those will be our picks for the jerseys. Moving on now to the next team in the Pacific Division, and that is the Phoenix Suns. They made some moves, obviously, this offseason. So shipping off Chris Paul for Bradley Beal, and then signing, honestly, a bunch of like really high quality minimums, in my opinion, with going and grabbing Keita Bates-Diop, Drew Eubanks, Chimezi Metu, Yuta Watanabe, Bol, and they still have Ishmael. I never said his full name like that. I just was reading it, but Ish Wainwright. Apparently, his full name is Ishmael Wainwright. And they have Udoka Azubuike as a 2A spot, which I just am now noticing. Yeah, obviously, and Eric Gordon, who I didn't even mention, but that's they have him on a vet minimum. They have KD, Brad Beal, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton as like all taking up their cap holds. That's a lot of money combined, and everybody else is what Eric Gordon's making is $3.2 million per year. Everybody on the team is below him, other than those four guys I just named. Which DeAndre Ayton is the lowest at 32.5.
Wild,
yeah. So,
and I don't think he'll end the season a Sun. Probably, I feel like it's
I could definitely
a general
see that
consensus that he's not happy, and
but he has a new head coach.
Maybe that will help. Maybe it was just all beef with Monty Williams, which is definitely there.
Mm-hmm.
But we will see if the things have changed or if they haven't or if he's gone or the thing that makes what was your line? 52.5?
Yeah, 52.5. Did I say that? I don't know if I've said that.
I thought you did. I don't know where.
I'm 52.5.
Was the Lakers 52.5? Why do I have that number in my brain?
Maybe I did say it. I don't know. I might have said it. 52.5 is the number, over-under number for the Phoenix Suns.
How many games did they win? I'm just trying to figure out where I pulled this 52 number.
Last year, they won 47. So it was 47 and 37. Or 45, 45 and 37.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Which brings me into that, which I forgot to do. Their reasonable prediction that I gave them last year was 51 wins. Their ceiling was 60. Their floor was 43. So they were within that range still, which all the teams in this division have been in that. None of the outstanding ones so far, other than the next one, which I forgot to mention, but they will be slightly outside of that range. But so yeah, they were towards the bottom of that because of all the injuries that they had last year with Devin Booker and Chris Paul both being injured quite a bit, and DeAndre Ayton situation continuing to drag on. And then they traded for KD mid-year. Also, I should mention, it was not just Devin Booker and Chris Paul that were out. They had Cam Johnson out. They had Jay Crowder not even playing at all last season. And so, like, the reason why Jay Crowder wasn't playing was because the team was deciding to start Cam Johnson over him heading into the year. And then, so they were out without Cam Johnson for most of the beginning of the season because of an injury. And then they didn't have Jay Crowder either because Jay Crowder was mad about them playing Cam Johnson. I think Cam Payne was even injured for a while. It was basically like Landry Shamet was like the star of the show for like a week there.
And he arrived. I can't remember what game it was, but
against the Nuggets, yeah, he had like 37 or something like that.
He was a good basketball player.
Yeah. They lost that game, by the way, but still did show up with a lot of points. But yeah, so this season their over-under line is 52.5, and I feel pretty good about the under. Not great, but I feel pretty good about the under just because this does not seem like a team that's built for the regular season as much as they are for the playoffs. That's kind of like the story with a KD team lately, I feel like. More built for the postseason than they are the regular season. So I'm going to lean the slight under. We've already looked at their roster. So yeah, what about you?
I'm also going to go under. The depth is there, but it's like not guys that have like, I'm just worried about the cohesiveness of this roster. They have like a lot of pow, but the cohesiveness is a worry. And maybe Aiden, whatever they get back for Aiden, you'd imagine they'd go for win now type of assets.
Oh yeah, for sure.
From Ayton. So maybe who knows what that turns into, but I will.
But what if Ayton is bought in now? Like, what if moving off of Monty Williams and also
he's just good?
Yeah, what if he's happy with the team and changing ownership also? Like that was a big thing with the rift was mainly between him and ownership because that's who wouldn't give him the money. Now there's a new owner in Matt Ishbia, so I don't know if his relations are more positive now.
I'm going to go the under as well.
Okay, that's fair. We both chose the under on the Suns. Looking at their watchability score for the Phoenix Suns, I put it pretty high, honestly, especially for the beginning of the season, seeing this big three.
Seeing it, yeah, that'll be fun at the beginning for sure.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go like 7-6. That's kind of like not just the beginning of the season, but that's like kind of what I'm thinking for the season as a whole. I'm going to go 7-6.
I'll go 6-4.
That's fair. That's fair.
They'll be fun at the beginning, but then I think they'll be fun for the 30 minutes or whatever that those stars play. I just feel like watching this bench unit could hurt.
Yeah, no, it definitely could. Especially
so
with
that is why
Frank Vogel, not a very inventive coach. Just kind of like steady the ship type of coach.
Suns jersey though, it's the OG purple, the Barkley purple.
Oh, the Barkley, yeah, with the basketball sun passing. Yeah, that's definitely number one. I think is there a black version of that?
I do not know.
Oh yeah, there is. Yep, there's a Nash one that's black. I like that too, black version. Both those are awesome. I also like the Valley jerseys are pretty good.
Yep,
those are solid. Honestly, Suns jerseys just like all of their jerseys are pretty good.
Yeah,
for the most part. I don't love the orange ones with the orange basketball and orange sun. Like everything's just orange. But other than that, though, I like most of what Phoenix rolls out there. I like their team branding just in general. But yeah, so that does it for the Phoenix Suns. Moving on to the final team in the Pacific Division. That is Jacob's favorite team from last season, honestly, dare I say.
Up there.
And I think that was your number one pick in well, it would have been if we would have gone normal order in our watchability, not watchability, favorite teams to watch draft.
Favorite teams to watch, it definitely would have been them.
Mm-hmm.
And Thunder were also up there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. If for anybody who is curious about that, go listen to that episode. It's named that most fun teams to watch in the NBA. But yeah, that was a fun one. So looking at the Sacramento Kings, though, they shocked the world last year. Other than, they shocked me too, but I was very high on them coming into the season. They ended up winning 48 games, 48-34. My reasonable prediction for them was 38 wins, while their over-under line was down at like 32.5 at the start of last season. And my ceiling for them was 46 wins, and their floor was 30. So they did go over the ceiling by 2 wins, which is just nuts. They almost won 50 games last season. And that is reflected in their over-under line being put at 44.5. So they have to win 45 games to hit the over, which I think is a very fair line with, like we've been talking about, the West just being more competitive this season. And I think, I don't know, I think it's a really good line, but I am going to lean the over here for the Kings. Really quick, looking at their team, they haven't changed a lot other than they've brought over somebody from the EuroLeague from Bulgaria, and that is Sasha Vezenkov. I haven't heard his name said even, so that was just off the rip. Chris Duarte is a recent addition. JaVale McGee is on this team. Kessler Edwards, Colby Jones. They have Scalabissiere. They brought him back on. He's on their training camp roster. Deontay Burke is the one from Nebraska. I was going to say Deontay Burton. Isn't that a Nebraska player? Deontay Burke went to Nebraska. This is a different person, Deontay Burton. But yeah, so they didn't change a lot, but I think the guys that they brought in can maybe help plug in, especially like Chris Duarte and Kessler Edwards. But that starting lineup with De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, and Domantas Sabonis And then off the bench, they have Malik Monk, who might have been my pick other than probably my pick for second or third, I think, for sixth man of the year last year. I think my pick was Malcolm Brogdon, the guy who inevitably won the award. They also have Davion Mitchell coming off the bench, Trey Lyles, Alex Len, who's been there, it feels like, for a long time now. But yeah, so I feel pretty good about the over. I think Fox might take another step up. I think Sabonis is probably towards his ceiling at this point, but still really solid I shouldn't say sub all-star. I think like borderline all-star level player. So yeah, that is what I feel about the Sacramento Kings. Slight over.
I keep on talking about someone has to lose games if other teams are going to win. And I think that another year of this team is good. So I'm going over on the Kings. And I need a lock still, I think.
I also do. I just noticed that.
Also, you haven't used
a stay away.
I'm going to lock Kings over, stay away from the Clippers.
Okay.
Or let's stay away from the Lakers, actually.
That's fair. Just to review as we close this thing up. Golden State Warriors over-under line was 48.5. I did stay away. Jacob did over. Clippers was 46.5. We both did under. Lakers 47.5. I went over. Jacob stayed away. Suns 52.5. I locked my under, and Jacob did a normal under. And then the Kings 44.5. I went the slight over. Jacob picked the over with a lock.
With a lock, like the beam, baby. Watchability score for them, for me, 9.7.
That's a
lot of. I just like watching them play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it'll wear off, but it didn't last year, so we'll see. They're just a whole lot of fun for me.
I agree. Really fun for me. Not to the same level, but I think I'll probably give them an 8-9. So one of my higher ones. I think I only have like a couple over 9. So 8-9 from me for the Sacramento Kings.
And for jerseys, it's weird. I just like their black ones, like their standard, just black Kings jersey.
Is it the one with the cursive Kings?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I like that one. I like that one.
The white ones of those are pretty clean too. I just like the white cursive black Kings with the purple on the sides. That's nothing crazy, just kind of fancy.
Oh yeah, those ones. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I just like it. Yeah. So
I like those ones. I feel like there's some black ones I really like as well that are a little older. Oh yeah, here they are. So the ones that are like, they have this pattern on them, like I don't know what it is, but little stripes on it to make it have some sort of texture. Looks kind of like scales from far away. But yeah, so I'll put those up on screen. You'll see them. Those are our favorite Kings jerseys, and that is going to be the end of the Pacific Division episode. We are now through 4 divisions in the NBA. Next episode, we'll be moving on to the Southeast. Stay tuned for the next one. We love you. We appreciate you. Stay happy, stay healthy, and we will talk to you guys in the next episode.
Peace!